Municipality of Mogotes. Height 1,700 meters above sea level. Average temperature 18.6 degrees Celsius. It was inhabited by the indigenous people of the Guan culture who served the cacique Guanenta. The word Mogotes for the Guanes was special. Mon, Gua, Demon, which means water or bath, mountain. Mogotes is made up of old houses built with baraki, calicanto and clay tiles from the colonial era. Its economy is based on livestock, bean crops, sugarcane and agroindustry of products such as fig and bocadillo.
El bocadillo de Mogotes no solo tiene tradición.
The Mogotes snack not only has tradition, it also has history. It begins with our Guanes Indians.
Que habitaron nuestras tierras, nuestra provincia guanetina.
According to historians, since they inhabited our lands in our Guanentina province, they produced the guava snack. They call the tree guaiba, which meant fruit outside the tree. This is described by the historians that we have researched, and they also did the same process that we do today.
La guayaba y la endulzamos.
We blanch the fruit, process the guava, and sweeten it. We do it with sugar or panela.
Especial que extraían de una.
They did it with a special sugar that they extracted from a sweet corn cane, and at the end of the process they wrapped it in a bihayal leaf.
Familia en familia.
This tradition continued from family to family. 57 years ago, my father and my mother took it in. They worked on it, and then over time I came to collaborate with them. At the moment I am trying to pass it on to children or nephews of the family who want to continue this tradition of the bocadillo de Mogotes.
Bienvenidos a Villa Mercedes.
Welcome to Villa Mercedes, a little piece of land that was born as a result of the business that we have been producing guava snacks and jellies.
Y jaleas de guayaba. Nosotros siempre habíamos recogido la fruta.
We had always picked the wild fruit. We always made our snacks with these fruits. He decided to move to Mogotes so that we could be educated there, and his first intention was to set up a business that could support us.
Allí y su primera intención fue montar una empresa, un negocio que pudiera sostenernos. Y él como vendía guayabas en las empresas.
And as he sold guavas to the companies that were in Mogotes, he decided to set up his own snack factory.
Frutas que se producían en el municipio.
He also started to buy the fruit that was produced in the municipality, and my father slowly grew with his company. He managed to sell the nearest municipalities. Then he expanded a little nationwide and managed to have a sales and positioning that fortunately we still have today.
Pero a raíz de las fuertes inviernos que...
But because of the strong winters that exist here in Colombia, in 2010, there was a crisis due to the winter. It was extremely strong and knocked down all the tertiary roads, which was where we brought the guava from. So we decided to have our own crops to avoid those problems in the future. And that is why Villa Mercedes was born. And with this farm, the guava crop that you are seeking today was born.
Y acá en esta tierra nosotros sembramos las primeras.
Here on this land, we planted the first 100 plants. that lasted 2.5 years in trails,
hasta que no logramos obtener las primeras frutas.
until we managed to obtain the first fruits. We did pruning and we knew that it was possible to cultivate. We did not start to establish the crop. Then we brought another 400 saplings from Lebrija, where they had established such beautiful pear guava crops.
Tuve la oportunidad de conocer a un grupo de
Later, I had the opportunity to meet a group of entrepreneurs from San Vicente de Chucuri who were growing avocado and mango. They took us to Valle del Cauca, and we also brought a variety of guava pear. This one is a little different because it is taller for the production of snacks. We planted 400 small trees from this one, and they have given us extraordinary results.
ellos cargan muchísimo.
They have a sweet taste. They are very rich and the color is very red. So the snack is a red color,
Que pareciera que
although it looks as if dyes were applied to it, but it is a natural color.
nuestra empresa acá a nivel de Santander es reconocida.
Our company in Santander is always recognized for its quality. Our sandwich is different from the others because of its quality and its process. There was a call from the Ministry of the Environment began to form green businesses. Different people from different municipalities of Santander attended.
De Santander. Anotamos nuestras empresas, las estudiaron, las expusimos.
We wrote down our companies, they studied them, we presented them, and we received support to determine whether or not we were a green business. We only work with natural products. We do not produce toxic waste of any kind.
¿Sí? Nuestros residuos son la pepa de guayaba.
Our waste is guava seeds and wood sawdust that we use in special packaging. We bring these waste here to the farm. We put them to decompose and they become compost for our company as well. This made us selected as a green business.
Este negocio verde pertenece a la categoría.
This green business is part of the category of goods and services belonging to the natural resources and agro-industrial food subsector. It is categorized by the safety of the product. It is almost a unique green business in Colombia due to the cultural and post-harvest practices that are managed. It has 3 components: economic, social, and environmental.
En su entorno de trabajo.
In particular, the social aspect because it involves women heads of household in the manufacture of the snack in the work environment. Economically, because it is a pole of development and employment generation for other agro-industries that are involved in the processes. Environmentally, because of the biological and organic management given to the plantation.
Bueno, este es el cultivo que finalmente es la realización de...
In the end, this crop is a result of many trials, a great investment, effort and losses. As I was saying, we had done the test in another municipality and it did not work. We established it here and this has been given guava land, so the guava that we are observing today had to be produced.
Mogotes es un municipio que está a 1,700 metros de altura.
Mogotes is at an altitude of 1,700 meters. The rainfall is daily. This municipality is called Broken Sky because here it is rare the day that it does not rain. The rain is very abundant.
Es una tierra bendita. Todo lo que se siembra.
It is a blessed land. Everything that is sown gives. We sow guava, yucca, bananas, coffee, sugarcane, and all the fruits that are grown here. We can obtain very good yields.
Unos rendimientos muy bonitos. Y el suelo es franco-arenoso. También tiene partes de...
The soil is sandy loam. It also has parts of clay. They are poor soils because it is also very mountainous. I have a small hillside where there is a part of the guava, and the production takes much longer to come out, and the amount of fruit is less.
Sale menos fruta en esa parte alta. Nosotros utilizamos un abono orgánico.
We use an organic fertilizer to help him, and it has given a very good yield. We already have a considerable organic layer. We plant the trees at 5 by 5 because the way we maintain them is by pruning. They will open sideways instead of going upwards. When the plant is 80 centimeters high, we give it the first pruning so that it begins to open up and form.
Se le va dando las podas de formación para que ellos no se crucen.
And as it grows, we give it the formation pruning. And as it grows, we give it the formation pruning.
Y empiece la producción. Cuando la producción viene por semilla, demora más o menos 2 años en dar fruto.
So that the little arms of the guava tree do not cross and the sun penetrates to the center, strengthens the plant, and production begins. When the production comes by seed, it takes more or less 2 years to bear fruit. When it comes by grafting, practically in the bag where they are delivered in the nurseries, they already come with the little flowers. After 6 months, they start their production work, and after a year, we already have the first guava trees. In Mogotes, although the soil is very good, cultivation takes longer. It takes more or less 10 months to obtain a guava from the mountain it is sown. In other places, it takes 6 or 8 months. And when the tree has already borne its first fruit, the first pruning process is carried out. During the year, we prune it twice. Although there are systems of pruning every 3 months, one of the men who buys the fruit and who has also had crops told me, "Barbara, we have to take into account that the tree also needs rest. We cannot make it produce. We have to let it give the normal harvest, which is usually once a year." So what we do is to schedule a guava harvest more or less every year. After the pruning, the flowering comes, the fruit begins to form, and it takes us 10 months for the guava to come out. When it is ripe, like the one we see here, we pick it and take it to the plant to begin the process of transforming into a snack.
Bueno, esto hay que primero revisar el árbol que...
First you have to check the branches of the tree. Then you start pruning and shaping the tree.
dar su forma al arbolito. Es una poda intensa para...
It is an intense pruning to call for a new harvest.
El corte hay que hacerlo también.
The cut must also be made so that the pest and water do not do any damage to it.
No haga daño ahí en él. Pues yo lo hago después de la luna llena.
I do it about 3 days after the full moon. When the quartering of the waning moon begins, I start pruning so that the stems don't grow so much and so the fruit is called.
Que sale y así llama a la fruta. Listo, la bajada de ya el corte alto.
I start pruning so that the stems don't grow so much and so the fruit is called.
Una vez se descarga la cosecha principal,
Once the main harvest is unloaded, because the tree never stops producing, as you can see, It always has flowers, guavas in their different stages of formation, and the final stage, which is the ripe guava.
Se inicia la poda intensiva.
Once the whole harvest is harvested, intensive pruning begins.
Tanto que queda muy copioso.
This is called intensive pruning because a tree has branched so much that it is very copious, and in the center of the tree, the sunlight that is essential for the strengthening of the tree,
Esos gajos fuertes se le quitan.
and the fruit cannot enter. The branches that go upwards are cut because they spread out too much, and then the twigs will break when the guava is brought down. The branches are left on the sides, and you will see that the guava falls, and it is very easy to harvest. The tree is left in a kind of skeleton, practically like an umbrella.
En una especie de sombrilla, el esqueleto de una sombrilla prácticamente. Y entonces, para evitar que la plaga lo ataque, se sella.
To prevent the pest from attacking it, the part that was cut is sealed. Fungicides and insecticides are applied, and thus we protect the stem that has been cut.
Una vez se le ha retirado las hojas que cayeron al piso,
Once the leaves that have fallen to the ground have been removed, the thickest branch is cut off. The leaves are piled up and the thin stems are made into piles.
ellos mismos se van dejando que se sequen al sol y al agua.
They themselves are left to dry in the sun and water. Biological microorganisms can be applied, which is what we are trying to achieve at the moment to help their decomposition. The idea is that we can place them around the plate again as fertilizer.
Y se abona. Y el árbol quedó listo y se deja quietico.
Once it has been pruned intensively, it is then plated and composted. The tree is ready and is left alone for about 6 months, after which time we find big guavas. The tree is already fully loaded, and that is when we come to apply the second pruning. This helps the guava to thicken and come out faster, and that is the end of our 10-month cycle of work with the tree.
Son muchas las plagas.
There are many pests and diseases that affect the guava crop, including fruit flies, weevils,
El picudo, el chinche patifoliado,
patifoliate bug, thrips, rust, and anthracnose. However, in Doña Barbara's green business, the phytosanitary problems we have encountered are minimal.
sanitarios que hemos encontrado. Ella tiene un potencial que es su fertilización orgánica.
She has a potential that is her organic fertilization. At the beginning, when the chemical fertilization was used, we realized that the number of pests and diseases was greater. Gradually, we made a chemical organic transition, and now organic, we have realized that the fruit has a larger size, greater weight, better post-harvest, and fewer pests and diseases. In order to make a decision on the application of an agrochemical, we do some monitoring, and depending on this monitoring,
Tomamos la decisión de aplicar producto químico o biológico.
we make the decision to apply the chemical or biological product. We use medium toxic and moderately toxic chemicals here. Never red band and yellow band, because we think a lot about the pollinators. Here around the guava crops, we have several apiaries, and we need an interaction between bee, beekeeper, and farmer.
Bueno, una vez que la fruta madura,
Once the ripe fruit has a yellow color and its texture is strong,
esa guayaba se recoge.
it is collected in small pots that are transported by the picker and deposited in a basket.
Deposita a una canastilla y de esta canastilla van directamente a la planta.
From there, they will go directly to the plant, where the first cooking process begins. In order to start the elaboration of the snack, the most important thing about the Mogotes snack is that it is always processed with fresh guava.
El proceso del bocadillo comienza con el recibo.
The process of the snack begins with the reception at the plant of the main guava, the raw material for its production. If it comes from the farm, it is already selected, completely ripe and at its optimum point. It is given its first preparation process, which is cooking. After this, the fruit is left to rest.
Y se le da su primer proceso de preparación, que es una cocción. Luego de esta cocción, entonces la fruta se deja reposar.
And then the pulping process continues. And from there we obtain the snack by mixing it with sugar.
Con azúcar. Y de la clarificación del jugo donde se cocina esta fruta.
From the clarification of the juice where this fruit is cooked, it is mixed with sugar, and we also obtain a snack called guava snack type.
Estos productos se dejan en reposo.
These products are left to rest from one day to the next while they finish their cooling process. Then they are die cut and packaged in the different references that are put on the market.
Nosotros conservamos aún el proceso artesanal.
We still conserve the artisanal process with which this industrialization of sandwiches began. Many years ago, let's say centuries ago, we made progress as the market demanded us to increase production.
Aumentar la producción. Uno de los objetivos que ha mantenido Industria Mogotes.
One of the objectives that Industria Mogotes has maintained is to work with women, heads of household. Here, women are practically reasonable for supporting their children, and this packaging activity, for example, allows them to combine being at the factory for a while and at other times going out to attend to their children's needs.
Aquí tenemos un potencial con este bocadillo.
Here we have a potential with this snack because we have a climatic variation between day and night. The degree of greyness that this snack acquires is unusual. It gives a very special flavour. In the process of preparation of the product, it has its own secret touch and is very noticeable on the palate compared to other sandwiches.
Es exclusiva de esta zona.
As the guava is exclusive to this area, we even want the guava from Mogotes to be given a domination of origin. There are 3 industries here, and the most thriving, growing, and with export visas is this green business.
Mi familia y yo hemos recorrido un largo camino.
My family and I have come a long way, 57 years of history, safeguarding a tradition that was on the verge of disappearing, but which we finally managed to maintain with perseverance. Despite all the crises and difficulties that have existed, we have managed to survive thanks to the loyalty of the people of Bogota, because for them, the snacks produced with this grain tradition have been a source of pride.
Ha sido motivo de orgullo, tanto para ellos como para nosotros. Y pues,
we have come a long way. We now have our own cultivation with the aim of giving total traceability to the product, from the fruit to the final product, and our objective.
Hasta el producto final. Y pues nuestro objetivo, nuestra meta es mantenernos.
Our goal is to stay in the market, producing these snacks of quality, of tradition, with the history that we have found about the production of the snack in Bogota.
La producción del bocadillo mogotano totalmente diferente a cualquier bocadillo.
This product is totally different from any other snack on the market, always improving the quality and maintaining its original formulation, generating work for the people of the municipality and the positioning that our product is achieving today.